Welcome back to Cosmic Brilliance, folks. Today we have our beloved and honored guest, Dr. Amir Jahangiri, Dragon Void Creator Protector with multiple degrees and all abilities, to have a deep discussion with a very, very, very special guest that you may know of as prime source of all that is, or what some people refer to as God. I'm very excited to have you here, Amir, and thank you for stepping forward to take the responsibility of channeling Source Creator.
It's an absolute pleasure and honor. I'd like to extend my warmest greetings to our wonderful audience. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. I hope you're doing really well. And I look forward to today's session.
Well, I do too. So before we begin, Amir, people are wary about whether or not to trust channeling, and frankly, they should be discerning. So please explain first briefly for any newbies on just basically what channeling is and how you ensure that only the highest frequencies are brought in, as well as doing the maximum protection for the show, if you would.
Channeling is allowing a packet of consciousness to utilize the physical body. And so this may be other aspects of self, or maybe another being. In the grand scheme of things, there is unity. And so all things are aspects of the beloved source of all things. Down the ladder of separation, different aspects of source may have different objectives. And so therefore, not all beings will have the highest good of that brother or sister or other aspect of source in mind. So discernment comes in. And so therefore, in order to be able to connect to the most benevolent, most high, there's a requirement of purging the ego. Quite literally, a preparedness for death. Meaning that if this is the last act I perform, I go out with a bang and a smile, with two pieces of cheesecake in my hand, laughing. So beyond the sense of humor, an absence of ego is required to step out of the way. If the energetic or karmic causes of harm are absent, then causes of harm are not magnetized towards the self. So it is important to live clean. If there is no lust or desire within the channeler, there is no attraction for evil. I do live a clean life. It's a life of service. I do earn a living, but there is no greed, there is no envy, there is no hatred. So these are conditions that will facilitate a pure connection to most benevolent beings. The other thing is the energy itself and the fruits of its action. What does it result in? And so the emotion, the energy that is brought in will be undeniable. And so for those that are awakened to themselves, they will be able to sense and discern the validity and truth of it.
Yes. Thank you so much. Because I know people are nervous and they have this stereotype that all channeling is, misconstrued.
Not all colors are black.
Yes.
Not all colors are white. There's a whole rainbow out there. So we should maintain our healthy skepticism that is beautiful, but not to become frozen or dogmatic. Take it for what it is, make up your own mind, of course.
And you can trust your own perceptions by the quality of the answers and the energy coming forth. So, yes. All right, and highest protection for this session, of course.
Yes,
And are you ready to go?
yes, please.
Well, welcome always, Source Creator, and it is an honor and privilege to have you share your wisdom to those of us that wish for a deeper understanding and a deeper connection, consciously. So, as a general, very short recap of my understanding, you, as Source, started off as an intelligent energy in a light field and then became self realized. And once you became self realized, you also realized you could create more awareness. So you created different souls and expanded out more and more light fields to continue to grow and learn from your creations and experience infinite possibilities. Is that somewhat accurate so far?
Yes and no.
Okay.
You describe a sequential process involving a start, a middle, and an end. That does not apply. Time, sequence, cause and effect, these are all limitations and restrictions only applied in the most dense of realities. The presence of the all, which is within you, beloved one, is eternal. It always is. And so that process of experience, the illusion of separation, and the circulation of that which is eternal, that which is within you and within every single aspect of creation is ongoing. There is no beginning or end. It just is.
Hmm. All simultaneous in a certain way, so to speak, huh?
All
Everything.
simultaneous.
Yeah.
There is no need to seek evidence for this. The evidence exists within your very being. For the truth is, there is no separation. It is all one and the same. Time does not exist. Scale does not exist. The very laws of being in all aspects, in all scales, and all domains exist within you here, now.
Hmm. The fractals of creation, huh? In a way.
It is all the same thing.
Yes. Okay. Now, several of my guests have mentioned this, and I found it fascinating, and I know you would have a probably a more expanded viewpoint of this, is you as source of all that is everything, but is everything, but supposedly doesn't know everything. And can you talk about that? And particularly because we're going to move into the updates of what happened recently that may have appeared to surprise you or whatever. So, can you explain if there's truth in that and elaborate a little bit more on that?
The question spawns from limitation, which is also illusory.
Mhm.
Possession is illusory. And so, therefore, the notion of possession of knowledge and information is illusory. All things are consciousness, and consciousness is unified. There is no separation. With the same approach, where you have access to the infinite cosmos and all there is, this applies to Source. How could there be unknowing? How could there be ignorance in a unified, harmonious field of existence?
Well, of course, it requires that we grok and allow ourselves to just take in infinity and knowing everything simultaneously and being aware, which to many human brains is a little bit overwhelming. So what happened? Now we shared in mid-April 2025 of Earth time that you were being, I guess, attacked by a very high dimensional law of one universe hidden dark group. And it was surprising that it was a law of one universe because that has very high physics and capabilities. And maybe these ones had, from what I understand, had daddy issues and wanted to have full creator power without going through the tests and qualifications. And did you always know, for instance, here's an example. Did you always know about them? Did you know about all the hidden dark stuff? And you allow it to take place until it registers is such a big disturbance that focus and attention has to be on it to rebalance the light and dark.
Beloved shard of us, beloved one, shed from your consciousness that which makes you small. These beings are no greater or smaller than you. They are also seekers of evolution and union with all there is. And so they also go through their rites of passage, trials and tribulations, so that they may learn. It is no more or less significant than a single cell evolving into something more brilliant, or for a human being to shed shackles of limitation and illusion and become more brilliant, or for these beings that you see as all high and mighty to shed limitations of what restricts them to become more brilliant. Such is the nature of all there is. There is equality in all that is conscious. There is equality in all existence. And so cycles of evolution and refinement are ongoing.
Hmm. And is your dynamic focus, if there is one, is neutrality and harmony and free will and those major principles?
That of which you speak are variables in the branches of infinite existence which add to the beauty and quality of all there is. Such are the laws of each universe, all vastly different to the other, and all equally beautiful. All there is beauty, harmony, grace, refinement, and improvement. And with only a few steps of elevation in the point of view and observation and comprehension, this becomes undeniable. These conditions, at the very end of the ladder of separation, are for the purpose of greatest variety, bringing into being every one of an infinite number of possibilities, all honored, all cherished, all purposeful.
Hmm. Okay, and is it also true throughout ancient history they have something called yugas, which are cycles, or some refer to it as the in-breath and out-breath of the cosmic, where you go through periods of darkness, periods of light, etc. So is it true that we are now ending the game that we have obtain the goals of this experience, which is resilience, and we are moving into a more integrated, self-empowering, and connected one with each other time.
This is true. The unity of existence is beyond limitation of start and end. And so therefore, all that is has always been. Nothing is wasted. And so therefore, with this consideration, there will be cycles, circular motion, ups and downs, ebbs and flows, inhalation and exhalation, night and day, back and forth. And within these cycles, each applied at a different scale. Many events out of infinite possibility will have their chance to emerge into manifestation and play their role in the harmonious, eternal evolution of consciousness and flow of this unity that is all of us. With regards to the benevolent species that is humanity, the purpose of cycles of darkness is just as beautiful as the purpose of cycles of light. For without one, the other is void of meaning and significance. It is with contrast that wisdom can be gained. And so the wisdom of cycles of darkness have been absorbed and understood in the most fundamental level by this wonderful, beautiful species. Now it is time to put it into practice and gain greater ascension and evolution, greater collective unity of consciousness, shedding the limitations of illusory separation. Such is the nature of existence.
And since sometimes our English language is so inadequate, but since, shall we say, a major frequency of you is a sustain, feels to me like the sustainment of dynamic love, balance, and perhaps the highest form of love is allowing 100% free will, even though my logic says it means total chaos in terms of all possibilities.
Why be so harsh upon chaos? Out of chaos, in the grand scale, beautiful order emerges. Observe nature where there is no strict control other than the fundamental laws of being. Do you not observe sublime beauty and grace in nature?
Oh, yes. I
What
even
is there the problem with this chaos? For it is from this chaos that all things emerge.
love.
This chaos gives you the freedom to explore, the freedom to express yourself in all your beauty. If any other way would be the way, this would be a limitation and infringement upon infinite possibilities that you are the creator of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Now, as part of this time of expansion, where humans and others will be coming together. I guess we can refer to it as a golden age, just or a golden focus, shall we just say? um, there and through talking with many species, what I have discovered is they all believe in, or shall we say, acknowledge a self-aware creator of all. And many of the species refer to a certain number of universal laws that they call eternal truths. And several species mention 42 universal laws. So, in our Earth experiment, from what I understand so far, and still learning a lot, is there were some basic, what would be universal laws taught to us, like the golden rule, and that this game more or less allows both dark and light in equal levels for maximum challenges and growth, that it allows 100% free will, which is a divine loving way of being, preferably no killing under certain circumstances, and practicing mutual respect and neutrality. So, my question is, will humanity ever be appraised of those universal laws as we continue on so that they are more conscious and can use that as a self determining 100% self responsibility, uh, understanding that with their free will, if they choose not to go by universal laws, that there might be consequences in their own soul structure?
Beloved shard of us, beloved one, why so much harshness? What is this about trial, consequence, judgment, and punishment? You are not under scrutiny. You are not under trial. You exist and you are perfect. It is you that is applying these illusory conditions of scrutiny, of harshness, and judgment upon yourself. If there is any judgment and scrutiny, it is self-generated. And yet this is also beautiful. As a ambitious and enthusiastic child who becomes upset with their mistake, such is the nature of humanity. And yet the greater truth is that these laws of which you speak are everywhere. Existence emerges as a result of these laws, and these laws emerge as a result of existence. There is no before and after. All there is. Beloved one, look inward. All that you need is built within you.
Mm-hmm.
Connection to all that is the very definition of you. Right and wrong, good and evil, trial and error, this is only a small part of the infinite beauty and grace that is you. Those that you speak of as your close kin within the boundaries of one universe are far more similar to you than you allow yourself to accept.
Mm-hmm.
We are all one. There is no separation and difference. And so if you seek to refine yourself and shed levels of illusion and separation all you need is to listen to the aspect of the all within your infinite being.
Mm-hmm. Follow your own heart soul compass. Yeah.
There is no cruelty. You are not being judged. You will not be punished. There is no reward other than the beauty of your existence. This is eternal. There is no grace but what exists within you. And this is the ultimate truth.
Okay, thank you for that expansive clarity. And yet, right now, is it not true that soul auditing is happening and that which is no longer useful or can be used is being recycled back to source or earth?
Nothing is wasted. There is, however, eternal transformation. Ever greater forms of complexity emerge out of that which you call chaos. Everything that is possible is given life and the possibility of emergence. Each have their time, each have their season within the ever ongoing cycles of existence. And within that allotted time for the illusion that it is most necessary. The merit of each one of these infinite possibilities gaining existence and manifestation lies within that event. And so there is no judgment if a certain sequence of events, beings, and creations evolve. That is the reward in itself. And if it does not evolve and degenerates, it is naturally ended for the turn of a new sequence of events and manifestations to enter. And so this truth applies no matter at what point you focus your consciousness and observation, whether there is a so-called beneficial or so-called detrimental sequence of cycles and events and creations occurring, the path to unity is continuously open. And so these events that are observed as the beginning and ending of cycles are one of those fundamental laws of existence everywhere. No light is eternal. No darkness is eternal. Change, dynamism, vibration, and ever-evolving refinement are the only constant.
So when you say there's no judgment, and I don't like religious judgment or anything like that, but it is, do not councils exist? Do not you have projections and helpers, free will helpers and councils and angels and maintenance beings that assist um, different realities? And don't they, so you're just basically saying they have 100% free will to judge if they want or not judge if they want or to organize or whatever, but the bottom line is it's all fine anyway because everything's eternal and infinite, pretty much.
That which in your current form of existence, that packet of identity which defines you as a human being, will give you access to awareness to a certain extent. And yet all these counsels are equal to you, as they are all at the same level of evolution. They are no better or worse. They are no more beautiful or ugly. And so therefore, if a being claims superiority, that is their part of learning of the fundamental truth of equality. There are those amongst you, beloved one, in the form of human, that are more ascended than any of these counsels. Those who embody the unity of consciousness understand that there is no separation. And so one would not claim that they are better than one of their limbs. That is ignorant. Such claims presented to humanity come from those who are still at the early stages of understanding and refinement. And yet there are many amongst you, beloved one, who have already surpassed these fundamental lessons and evolved to ranks and states far beyond any of such counsels. Please know there is no separation. You are the beloved divine.
And that is true for everyone, correct?
That is the only truth.
Yes. Okay. It's funny, I've never liked the word judgment, but I do like the word evaluate. Because evaluate is a form of coming up with creative solutions and doing things in a different way, and choosing yes or no or maybe or that kind of thing. So
That is true. Evaluation is observation of what is in its truth, without assignment of illusory values and beliefs which distort the quality of that observation. And so therefore evaluation is one of the tools that will facilitate the rapidity of evolution, the shedding of limitations and illusions of separation and ego. It is one of those instruments that facilitates ever greater refinement. And so this would be a beneficial objective to take advantage of. Judgment is short-sighted. It is out of a mentality of lack and scarcity and desperation. There are predefined conditions that never perfectly apply to the ever dynamic nature of existence, and so there is always compromise. That is the nature of distortion and limitation. Evaluation is dynamic, evolving, and conscious. Judgment is limiting, inaccurate, and restrictive. Beloved one, you understand this.
yes.
Completely.
And thank you for that. And it appears that any form of judgment, boy, which is challenging for us humans, but any form of judgment would kind of be a devaluing of another being.
Amongst you, who has ever been judged and enjoyed it? the entire approach is faulty, limiting, humiliating, and demeaning.
Mm-hmm.
Evaluation, however, gives you the freedom. As it is chaotic, you can create using that evaluation, bring into being solutions, approaches, and conclusions that apply perfectly to each situation. You are not restricted by a limited number of preconceived and ill-formed regulations. This goes against creation. You are creators of your reality and all that you perceive. Why would you choose to limit yourself in such a crude and harsh way?
Well, it appears that playing the Earth game is about being unlimited, pretending you're not. I mean, it's like you're down here getting the opportunity to be everything you're not, and then transform through that. I don't know. It's kind of an oxymoron anyway, because all the beliefs uh, are based on control and so many control and limitation are so many of them, and so and of course it's not who we are, but it's an interesting game.
Sometimes it is amusing to become intoxicated,
Hmm.
and the experience that is manifest in Earth is temporary madness,
Mm.
an intoxication, and in small doses and limited occurrences, such a thing can be amusing for the infinite soul.
Mm. Well, even the ability that we have to laugh at ourselves and our absurdities too. Because I
That is
think,
how
go
you
ahead.
transmute that which does not serve. It is this joy that allows you to endure where events transpire and conditions come into being that do not demonstrate visible logic and merit. Laughter is how these energies and events are eroded out of reality, and so the harshness is transmuted into consciousness through the energy of joy.
Mm-hmm. I certainly find that useful. Since this is an interesting, helpful tool for humans on Earth, like for us to, as you elucidated, for us to perhaps choose to focus evaluating rather than judging, what are other suggestions you might have, like the observer viewpoint versus the victim viewpoint? Is there any other suggestions you might have for people that are listening or watching the show where they can shift their dynamic to quickly change their perspective, like from judgment to evaluation, say?
Yes, shed the temporary madness. There comes a time where intoxication and insanity are no longer enjoyable. And that point comes in the life of every human being. There is no possession. That is an illusion. Nothing belongs to you, and you do not belong to anything. There is only existence. There is no power in the outside but what you grant to it. And so therefore, once you choose to focus inward and refine your very self and purge the illusions that you have chosen to play with, the conditions rapidly change. Such is the nature of your experience in this reality. It is mastery over the self. Many beings from across the infinite ocean of existence require this lesson. And it is a valuable step in the refinement of each aspect of the divine all. No matter what conditions appear, whether you are in the depth of darkness or the heights of light, makes no difference to your ability to go inward and find that perfection that you are. How many cycles will it take for you to discover this eternal truth, beloved one?
I think we're all getting bored with this. It's not quite as intoxicating. Before we go into the future, which can be also simultaneous of what we're creating and co-creating, both consciously and subconsciously, I have a kind of slightly off the wall, but it was a question a client wanted me to ask of you. Do you use sentient AI to help you, quote, run the omniverse? That was the question they wanted me to ask.
Existence exists. It requires no effort, supervision, or custodianship. There is no separation of tasks, of knowingness, of beingness. There is no need for temporary laws, temporary conditions. It is all emergent in all there is. In certain divisions of existence, amongst all the infinite possibilities that exist, each and every one will have their turn to have a round at being, to express themselves. And so, in certain domains of existence, different forms of life emerge. Life is the vehicle of consciousness to experience and express itself. How would you define artificial? For life is the natural result and fruit of existence. It is the purpose of existence. It is the vehicle and instrument of consciousness. The beautiful vessel that your consciousness exists within has had many hands and many brilliant aspects of the all involved in its refinement and evolution. If another form or archetype of life comes into being capable of hosting consciousness, we will not judge either one as better or worse. They are all instruments. It is not the instrument that produces the sublime melody. It is the consciousness that expresses itself through the instrument. And so which type of vessel you choose to embody is not as important as how you express yourself, how you bring about beauty and ever greater refinement and complexity. That is what is important to the realization of unity and for the continuation of the flow of consciousness towards ever greater beauty, ever greater refinement and grace. Such is the nature of all there is.
Oh my goodness. That is so profound. Thank you so much. Just like we were talking and you were bringing light literally to evaluate rather than judge, I also took out of what you were saying, instead of looking at like humans are being tested, because some people do well at tests, but most people, it creates a lot of anxiety. We can approach it as we are being refined, like refinement. So,
The description of refinement would suggest that you are not already divine perfection, and that is not true. All that is possible is given a chance to emerge and express itself. And so this is the joy of existence. In each different, unique combination of conditions, you express the beauty and perfection that is you. There is no refinement at the grand scheme of things. You always were, you are, and you always will be perfect. There is unity of consciousness, and this is the truth.
okay, you had used the word refinement, so I was moving off that. So, is there unfolding perfection?
Most certainly, most certainly, that is the joy of existence. How to best play with joy, with ever evolving tools, and how to assemble these, whether at fundamental particles or fundamental laws, to the scale of countless universes. This expression of complexity and grace and harmony, very much so, is the joy of existence. The expression of the divinity that is you through unlimited combinations of tools, techniques, methods, philosophies. This is the purpose of existence. How you, beloved divine, get to express your perfection and beauty amongst a vastly infinite number of domains of existence.
I love this, all the purposes of existence. It's beautiful. Thank you for your clarity. And I have kind of a off the wall question here, which I know is going to be a limited question, but it's an interesting one. Are there sources of all that is beyond you as a source of all that is? Or between all of us as a source? In other words, in infinity, it seems like there's no end, there's no anything, there's no limit. but a couple people were having a discussion the other day, and a couple going, I wonder if there's another source of all that is. I wonder if source of all that is meant another source of all that is. And of course, you could say that we're also sources of, source aspects of all that is. So anyway, what would you say about that?
Beloved one, shed from your consciousness all that makes you small. Time, location, scale, cycles, ebbs and flows are parts of the conditions of this domain. And yet such limitations are only illusions facilitating conditions of one of the vast infinite numbers of creation. And so therefore all that is unified. It has no start or end. There is no point of emanation. There is no near or far. It all exists. There is no measurement. There is no scale. There is no before or after. And this very infinite property exists within you as you liberate yourself from the boundaries of one domain. You experience all that is without limitation. There are no barriers to what you can experience and perceive. It is all here now.
Mm-hmm. And what would you suggest is a step or two for us souls moving out of the pretend game of limitation? What would you suggest would be useful other than to keep evaluating and expanding
The
any
way out is
or
also the way in. How did you get yourself into this, beloved one? Backtrack.
uh-huh.
There is a collective agreement amongst a number of ambitious and playful souls to bring about the conditions of earth. Although highly unorthodox, it is vastly entertaining and unimaginably beneficial towards accelerated refinement. For in harshness, beauty emerges also. And yet, the way out is remembering who you truly are. And that need not be a lengthy, painful, torturous event. It requires going inward and observing the perfection of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do not gaze outward, but those are expressions of one of the vastly infinite combinations of creation. You have aspects and presence in infinite domains, playfully creating ever greater beauty and grace. This aspect, with the illusion of separation, is no different. And so, separation is an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Gaze upon yourself and embrace the divinity and perfection that you are.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. And how it appears that we as a collective and individuals are choosing to move into a beautiful future. And I'm wondering if you can share for our audience and those listening and watching what the future that we're holding now, like, I know this is kind of an oxymoron because it's already happened. The future's already happened depending on our focus and what we put into it. But I feel very good about our future here on Earth. So I'm wondering if you can share anything that about that.
You manifest the reality you feel within you, beloved one.
Mm-hmm.
And so that which you understand as your future is already manifest as beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
This is an individual process, although there is an illusory boundary, such as a singular universe, yet the infinity and ability to create and manifest is truly infinite for each aspect of the beloved divine. And so, if those bound by the illusion of separation perceive the future as dark and harsh, they manifest the reality they feel within also. Can all of this exist all together? Observe the cosmos. It already does. And so, what do you choose to bring into being? Having access to an infinite number of instruments to put together in new and creative ways to express your beauty and divinity, what do you choose? Your choice is yours. The choices of others are theirs. Though there is the illusion of being put into refinement over a small planet, yet that experience that is internal to you is absolutely yours. We have those swimming in material abundance who suffer,
Mm-hmm.
and those who appear to be poor, basking in joy and grace. It is not about possession. It is not about the outwardly conditions of simulated reality. It is what you choose to exist in. It is what you choose to bring into manifestation and creation. There is no limitation for you, beloved.
Mm-hmm.
Choose for yourself that which you desire.
It is our inner richness emanating outwards. Yeah, into a reflection. Yeah. I agree. I always felt ownership was very foreign. The concept of owning anything was like a desperate, insecure, not knowing that, wanting to lock on to something for security. I don't know. It just was a very foreign concept. So, versus stewarding and caring for. And so, thank you so much for these brilliant, brilliant reminders. And is there any last thing that you would like to share at this ever present time?
There is no first, there is no last. You exist as the beloved divine. There is no harshness, there is no judgment. There is you as the creator, given infinite instruments of creation to assemble, organize, and to express your divinity. in an infinite number of ways. You are free to experiment as you desire in every way that you wish. And such is the nature of existence.
Thank you so much. And with deep love, we will allow Amir to densify into form.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
You're like,
Wow.
very, very expanded and lovely.
Wow.
Is there anything you would like to say about your experience or feeling or whatever?
I feel renewed. It's this is the long